Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror Trans. I'm Stephanie Breen. I'm a transgender woman and I talk about all things horror. And today I'm tackling the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Tobe Hooper. I've already talked about the Netflix remake on this channel, and I've got some other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies coming down the road. But I figured today was a good day to go ahead and tackle the original. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is kind of special because it kind of helped establish the slasher subgenre. It isn't a full-fledged slasher, but it's in the family. It is what we call a proto-slasher, which means it's like got early elements of a slasher, but it's not quite a slasher yet. So it starts off, you got a group of teenagers. It starts off even before that. You got some news clippings about a grave robber in the area. And then you get a group of teenagers who stop by the graveyard where there's people everywhere. I believe they were there to visit a family member, but I can't remember 100%. Anyways, they get in their van and they're heading towards this old house. And along the way, they meet a hitchhiker they decide to pick up. And he's a little bit crazy. And the hitchhiker freaks them out when he cuts his hand with a knife. So they kick him out of the van. And he essentially curses them. When they get to the farmhouse, they are bored out of their skulls with nothing to do. So two of them go out into the woods to bone, because that's what you do. And one of them, who is in a wheelchair, just sits around crying the whole time because he's in a wheelchair and there's nothing for him to do. And so the couple, when they're walking out in the wilderness, they don't find any place to bone, but instead they find the neighbor's house. So they wander over there for whatever reason, and they get killed. And then the other two go looking for them in the middle of the night. And they stumble across the killer. His name is Leatherface. And he immediately kills the kid in the wheelchair, the annoying kid. And chases the girl back to the house. Once back at the house, she discovers all kinds of horrors, and they kidnap her and they tie her up and force her to watch them have a really weird supper that's going to end with them beating her over the head with a hammer, of which she escapes and gets picked up by a guy at a gas station and gets taken back to the house. I'm going out of order, but she escapes and then gets taken back to the house, and then she escapes again. The second time she escapes, she gets into a semi-truck, and she's getting ready to head out when Leatherface shows up and kills the truck driver and comes after her again, and that's where the movie ends, basically. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about with this movie. First of all, even though it is scary, it's not very gory. Most of the kills are off camera. You only see a hint of them. If anything, if you even see anything at all. Some of them you don't even know what happened. Which to me makes it kind of boring. And, not as interesting as some of the ones where they show the kills. I want to see the kills. Excuse me. It's still a good movie, though. It's an absolute classic. Highly rated. I enjoy it tremendously every time I watch it. This is absolutely a buy. I have the Steelbook edition of this. It was something I wanted to have a collector's edition of. 2-disc set, plenty of bonus features. Great fucking movie. You gotta have this in your collection. Even though you don't get a lot of kills and you don't get to see the kills on screen, there's always something interesting happening in this movie to keep your attention. And I appreciate that tremendously. Especially when compared to Halloween, which is another one I have talked about at length. So, there you go. This is definitely a buy.